The newest Unearthed Arcana has come out, and it's none other than the Arcane Tinkering, Potion Brewing, Armor Crafting Artificer. It almost feels right that this class is the first Unearthed Arcana of the new 2024 rule set, and I have more to say about that than I thought I did. Let me start out by saying that I've never played an Artificer, and I've never had one at the table, so if you've played one or have had one at your table, please let me know what you think of the class in the comments. I want to hear the opinions of people who have actually played the class. I'm only going to be talking about the base class since I don't have enough time to talk about the subclasses, but if you guys are interested in hearing about that, I'll make shorts about them as well. So, first change, and I already don't like it. Magical Tinkering was a fun, kind of boring first level feature, almost a ribbon, that offered the Artificer the ability to make silly little inventions that they could hold on to. This new feature, however, just lets you create a common item temporarily. This is something that can be replicated by any other player at the table by saying, I have that in my bag. Does this feature matter in the long run? Probably not. Is it better than it was before? Absolutely. But as someone who runs their table pretty loose when it comes to common equipment, this feature is just a little more boring, that's all. Next we have spellcasting, where not much changed other than the Artificer being able to swap out cantrips on a long rest, which I think is nice. It gives them versatility, and I really like to see that in a class that is meant to feel as though that they're always tinkering and preparing for what's ahead. Then we had what was my biggest issue with the class until I read the entire Unearthed Arcana. Infuse item became replicate magic item. I had thought they lost all of the unique infusions. That was until I got to the end of the document. So now all of those unique infusions are just in the game as magic items for the DM to just hand out if they want to. Want to give a player a returning weapon? Well, now you can, because it's a magic item now instead of an Artificer's infused weapon. I both like and hate this change. My biggest issue with this change is that it kind of makes the Artificers seem like their entire shtick is being a magical item factory and not this ingenious inventor who augments and creates their own unique items, which is how I see the class. I know this can be solved at the table, and I would encourage my Artificers to think outside the box when creating magic items. Balancing can be done at the table alongside that player. Those two changes are my biggest gripes, but the rest of the changes made to this class are honestly pretty good. Magic Item Tinkerer replaced Tool Expertise, which I see as a fair trade. Being able to regain spell slots by destroying a magic item is probably better in most circumstances, but especially if you're in the throes of combat. That spell slot is going to help you out more in defeating the bad guy than doubling your proficiency with your tools. Flash of Genius got the Bardic Inspiration treatment and can now be used as a reaction on a failed attempt so that it's not wasted if the player rolls well. I'm a big fan of these kind of changes. Their spell storing item feature can now hold level 3 spells instead of just level 1 and 2. And finally, their level 20 capstone feature, Soul of Artifice, got adjusted a bit. No more +6 to your saving throws because you're attuned to an entire city's worth of magic items, but instead 1d6 to them as long as you're attuned to at least one item. This is worse or equal in strength if you're attuned to 6 items, but as soon as you start sucking up the energy from them to get spell slots back, the bonus could be better as long as you're rolling well. And that's the Artificer. What are your thoughts on all the changes?